Welcome to the training on Business Mapping Basics. This is presented to you today by Martha for Business Online Learning. The first rule with business mapping is to know it's easy. Secondly, always keep in your mind there is no perfect answer. There is no perfect description of a process flow. So just go ahead. The benefits of mapping processes: clarity for yourself and for others. You get an overview, gives you a basis for a good discussion because it's clearly illustrated what you're talking about. By mapping your processes, you also have an opportunity to see where improvements can be made. By learning how to map processes, this is a skill that you can use anywhere, and you can increase your effectiveness no matter where you are. The first steps: describe the process you want to map. You start with, now this process has the purpose of, or the aim of this process is to. This way you get clarity about what you're trying to describe. Next, you define your boundaries by asking yourself a couple of simple questions, like which process is this? Inversely, you can ask yourself, which process is it not? What are the main tasks in this process? What is not part of this process? Be clear, when does this process take place, or when does it not take place? Ask yourself, why does this process take place? Or why does this process not take place? Be clear about who is involved, and then who is not involved, and maybe understand why. Once you have answered these questions, you've defined the outside perimeter of the process you're going to describe. Now start to familiarize yourself with the symbols involved in process mapping. The round figure is the start or the end. These are the starting points or the end points of any process. To define them accurately, ask yourself, what triggers off this process? That's the start of everything. When we know that the process has actually done the job, that's the end point. The aim has been reached. A small rectangular box is the task. Simply said, this is just the job to be done at that particular point. Next, we connect the boxes. These are the connectors. They show the direction of the flow of the work to be done. They can have any format. The main thing is that the arrow points only in one direction. Next, we have the decision diamond. This represents a yes or a no question, or true or false. Typically, it will have two arrows coming out of it, one corresponding to a yes or true, and one corresponding to a no or false. The arrows must always be labelled. And there you have it, by putting the start and the end point, listing the tasks in between them, including any decisions you may make in that process, clearly illustrating the path to be taken if you take a no answer out of the decision, or the steps to be taken if you take a yes answer. This is how your process is mapped. There you go, your first process. I've taken a simple example here and said, okay, making a cup of coffee. The trigger is feeling thirsty. You prepare the water, you prepare the cup, you prepare the coffee. You have to make a decision about the milk. If your decision is yes, I would like to have milk, you add the milk. Next question is sugar. If the decision is yes, I will add sugar, then add the sugar. Final task is you stir your drink, and you have made your cup of coffee. The aim has been reached. There are more symbols that you can include in a process mapping. The first, the document, to define multi-documents, to show when something is displayed, to indicate when something must be switched on or off, to indicate data storage. This symbol is for manual operation or manual input, to indicate internal storage, to list up a magnetic tape, stored data, disk storage or database. The next step is if you would like to document your process. I have put up a template here and showing an easy method of describing your process. You can expand your concept by adding extra aspects of each process step or decision which may be important to you. You can list who is responsible for this step, who is involved in carrying out this task. Does somebody need to be informed with it? Are there particular documents that should be used for this task? Can you define the actual task itself? This template can be expanded on many levels, and it is purely a matter of how you decide to best map your process. Further possibilities are you can add task result if you want each step measurable. You can add a timeline if you want deadlines to be observed. You can add items like database if you want software entries to be included, or add storage. Storage issues are important. Finally, remember KISS. Keep it simple and straight. If you are going to map several processes, keep your approach uniform. Develop a template. If several people are going to map out processes, design these templates to ensure that one language is spoken. This means that each process can be understood easily by everybody. In describing the tasks, use verbs and nouns, i.e. fill cup, boil water. The decision diamonds can also include options, i.e. go up, go down, switch on, switch off. Never include more than 2 options, as this will make your process flow too hard to manage. When a sideline from a decision comes to an end, you may use a stop symbol, which is similar to the start and end symbols. You will never have more than 1 trigger or start to a process. And finally, you can only ever have 1 person responsible for a task in a process, while you can have many performing it. So this is the end. We thank you for your time. We hope we have helped you become excited about the idea of mapping processes. Certainly, it has been of great benefit to us. We were happy putting this information together for you, and we wish you fun and success. For more such training videos, check us out on Facebook with Business Online Learning, or on the web with www.business-online-learning.com. Thank you for your time and best of luck.